And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma.
She has been in the hair and beauty industry for 16 years. She's the owner of Huntress Hair Religion for 10 years, which is a multi-award winning salon. The owner of Hunter Barbershop for 1 year, just awarded the 2019 Salon of the Year at the HBIA Championships. She doesn't work on the floor on either of her businesses. She does coaching for 2.5 years. She's generated an additional $3 million in sales for her clients in the past year. 4 of her clients relocated their business and 5 added another salon to their portfolio. She coaches clients from Australia, New Zealand, USA, South Africa. She's spoken at events all over the world, including Bali, the USA. She's a judge of the 2009 Australian Hair Industry Awards, permanent writer for the Hair Biz magazine. Let's please be upstanding, give a massive welcome to the stage, Caitlin Menzel.
Hello. Thank you. Hi everybody. I'm so nervous, but I'm so excited to be speaking to you guys today about salon management, obviously something I'm incredibly passionate about. As you know, my name is Caitlin Menzel. I'm from Caitlin Menzel Coaching, and I've been working as a business coach and coaching salon owners from all over the world for the past 2.5 years. So salon management is absolutely my passion. I don't need to speak too much about my business and my life. I was going to do a quick intro, but Billy pretty much covered me today. So this is pretty much me in a nutshell. This is my salons, a couple of the things I do, my dog, all the important things in my life, really. So when I learnt to live by this, not only did my life change, but my business changed. This is actually an ancient Chinese proverb. If you don't know what it means everything starts with you. Everything starts with the owner, the manager, and the people at the top of your business. How many of you in here are salon owners? Heaps. And how many are managers? Cool. Is there any staff in the room? Yeah, a couple. Awesome. So I guess when I think about this, I used to live by everybody else was doing everything for me. Everyone else is at fault. Everyone else is to blame for the things that are going wrong in my business, and it is 100% not true. We all hire shit staff, that's a fact. We all do the wrong thing, that's a fact. But you need to own it, and you need to realize that you're the only one in control of everything that happens within those 4 walls of your salon. So when I think about successful management, this is what I think about. The top, the manager and the boss. Great management, strong leadership, motivational, happy, positive reinforcement. That's the thing that's going to guide your staff and make them reliable, hardworking, happy, and motivated. If you can motivate your team, they will do anything that you want them to do. They will work really fucking hard for you. They will be loyal to you. They will make your clients look and feel amazing. And they will operate the systems and the policies and procedures that you developed in your salon. Everybody overthinks it when we think about systems, like, systems. Everything you do is a system. How you do a haircut is a system. How you greet a client is a system. Everything is a system. So if you can keep your team happy and you can look after your team, they will literally look after everything else that you need them to look after. What that means is your clients will be happy. They will be long-term. They will refer people to you. They'll be screaming your name from the rooftops. They'll be satisfied, they'll look beautiful, and they'll be the best walking billboards that it can possibly be for your business. But again, that comes back to looking after the staff and managing your salon well. Last but not least, there is cash flow. Anyone who says they don't like money is full of shit. Everyone likes money. Come on. If you look after the staff, that look after the systems, that look after the clients, the cash flow will come. You've just got to be good at managing it. Facts, not fluff. I don't have time for bullshit. I don't have time for fluff. So here it goes. Clients will tell 20 people if they've had a terrible experience at your salon, but they'll only tell 3 if they have a great one. It's easier for us to attract ourselves to negativity. It's just human nature. So think about that every time you look after a client in your salon, or any time you have a shitty staff member that you're letting them be shitty because it's your fault that you've let them have bad behavior and it's your fault that you've let them do the wrong thing. Think about that. 3 people versus 20. A third of new employees quit their job within the first 90 days. So if you've got a staff member either side of you, one of them quits within 90 days. That's nothing. What are we doing to scare our staff away? What are you doing to keep them working for you? What are you doing to actually make your workplace enjoyable? 71% of employees have mentally resigned from their job already. Scary, scary stat. 80% of small businesses fail within the first 18 months. Thankfully, you guys obviously haven't, but there's something wrong, and we really need to work on closing the gap and working out why our staff are leaving and why these small businesses are closing down. And that's what I'm going to do with you today. Last but not least there, and this is also a scary stat, 9 out of 10 salon owners in Australia earn $65,000 a year or less. That's not owning a business, that's having a job. I pay my staff more than that every year. So, let's talk about leading your dream team. As Billy said, I haven't worked on the floor of either of my salons for 3 years now. I've never worked on the floor of my barbershop. It is a decision that I made. I'm not going to stand up here and tell you that, you have to be off the floor of your business. You can very much be on the floor of your business. You can be very much working on clients, but you need to have a really strong manager to hold your hand if you're going to do that. And if you want to be a couple of days off the floor, you can do that as well. The best thing I learned about motivating my team is finding out what the fuck drives them. It's not about me, it's about them. Most employees work for money because money provides them things. That's all they want. But there's a lot of employees that want holidays, they want time off. I found out the most common thing with my staff is all they wanted was a Saturday off. So you know what we did? Every 6 weeks, they get a Saturday off, paid. That has been one of the most phenomenal things in my business. When was the last time you actually sat down and spoke to your staff and found out what they want, what drives them, what's going to keep them working for you? If they want a European holiday, fine. Make that an incentive for them. Book them a course overseas, send them on the holiday. It's a win-win for both of you. They're happy, you're happy. They then bring those skills back to your clients in your salon. Ask them what they want. I've had 4 jobs in my life aside from working for myself. 2 salons, 1 bar, and 1 nightclub. And do you know what? None of my bosses ever asked me what I wanted, what my goals were, why I worked for them, why I did what I did. The next thing on here is, are your employees productive? The reason you have your staff is so they can work for you, so they can make you money, and they can look after the clients that you provide for them. How are you actually managing that? Do you have KPIs in place for your staff? Do they know why you have those KPIs in place? Are they being productive? Do you have someone who's just lazy? Do you have the underperformer? Do you have the really high achieving staff? On that is huddle, meet, and review. Who here has regular team meetings, scheduled, locked in for the rest of the year? Like not even a quarter of you. Who here actually sits down and reviews their staff and their performance? You better, Cass, you used to be one of mine. Team meetings is one of the most paramount things you can do for your business. We do ours every 3 weeks on a Saturday. It's locked in for the rest of the year. Everyone comes. The only time they don't come is if they're on annual leave. It is a time to discuss openly what goes on in the business. It's a time to talk about the forward-thinking things we're doing, awards, things to celebrate, new products, everything. It's an hour. It's quick and easy. It's a time for my team to come together and actually have a bit of a round table and talk about the things that are going on. The other part of that is a review. Every 4 weeks, we sit down with each of our staff. How are you feeling today out of 10? What training do you need from me? Where are you going? How are you working towards your goals? How can I be of support to you? Half an hour each. That's all it takes. These things have been the most phenomenal things in my business. Let's talk about a huddle. Does anyone here have a morning huddle? 4 of you, 5 of you, maybe 7. A couple of hands kind of went up a bit later. 15 minutes prior to the start of our working day. If you're there in the morning, you're there. If you're not, you're not. That's fine. 15 minutes. Get in there. When I think about a huddle, I think about, a footy game or something like that where they all have a little huddle. What are we going to do today? What are we going to get over? How many products are we going to sell? What are we going to do? What's the goal? Work together. Put it in their minds. Motivate them. That's part of being a leader. And that's part of being a motivator. And it's part of being a boss. It's literally the best money I spend is that 15 minutes first thing in the morning, talking to my team about what their goals are for the day. How far are they off their targets? What appointment glitches are we going to come across? Let's get across it early. Honestly, get your team in 15 minutes early, spend the time with them in the morning, Watch everything soar. It's incredible. And do you know what? They'll respect you so much more because you're there with them, motivating them, doing it with them. Nothing is beneath me in my business. I'm happy to walk in and wash dishes. I'm happy to sweep the floor. I'm happy to do whatever they need me to do if I'm there. Huddle. I promise you it will change your business. This one's a fun one. Hiring and firing. It's inevitable that you're going to hire a shit staff member every now and again. I fired one in February. If you have a really, really good induction procedure, you interview them, you reference check, please do your reference checks, and then you trial this person, people can be great on paper, people can be great in an interview. You put them on, they're phenomenal for the first few weeks, then you realize that they're cancer. It happens, and it happens commonly. But what are you doing about the cancer? Sometimes the most cancerous person in your business is the top earner. Sometimes it's the apprentice. Sometimes it's just someone you don't expect because they're lovely to you, but cancer to everybody else. The best thing you can do for a positive workplace culture and to show your team that you mean business is fire them. Get them out. I don't care how much anyone earns me. If you're cancerous to my staff and you're cancerous to my clients, you are out. It's scary, it's horrible, no one likes firing anybody. Everyone thinks it's like The Apprentice, Mark Boris, you're fired, horrible. There's always tears, women especially, awful. But you need to know when to cut the cord and when to let somebody go. Not only does it show your team that you're serious, this is a team, it's a positive workplace environment, but you won't put up with people's shit. And you won't put up with their bad attitudes, and you won't put up with their cancerous behavior. Do not be afraid to fire somebody. The next part of this is reward achievers. I understand that not everybody can facilitate massive wages in their business. I get that. But if you've got a high performer, you've got someone who's doing really well, you've got someone who's naturally a good leader, reward them. Whether that comes in a couple of dollars an hour pay rise, whether that comes in a better roster, whether that comes in the form of just promoting their position within your business, reward them. And don't make your staff come to you and ask for it, just do it. I don't need to stand there and, go, oh, do you want a pay rise or wait for them? I'm just telling you, babe, you've been killing it. I'm giving you a pay rise. That, groundbreaking, absolutely groundbreaking. Most of your staff won't have the guts to come and tell you why they deserve a pay rise. It's your job to actually recognize it and to just give it to them. If you've got someone who's consistently hitting their targets every week, raise the wage, raise the target. Keep them pushing higher, keep them doing more. Find out what makes them, what triggers them and do that for them, make it happen. The last thing on the bottom here is show appreciation. It's as simple as thank you for today. I can tell you when I was employed in my previous jobs, I was never thanked. I worked like a friggin' Trojan for my last bosses. I work like that in my own businesses now. Sometimes all I need is just to be told that I'm doing really well. The number one reason people leave their job is because they do not feel appreciated. How hard is it to just say thank you, to say you're grateful? Even if they just do a great color, a great cut, a perfect eyebrow wax, take a great photo for Instagram. Lord knows that's a problem sometimes. Just say thanks. Give them a pat on the back. If I walk into my salon and I see somebody doing something phenomenal, if I see this great color on a client, I'll walk up to the client and say it in front of the staff member to the client. Client feels good, staff member feels good. It's a win-win. And that doesn't take any of my energy at all. It's the little things that make your staff tick. Employees don't leave their job, they leave their manager. Most people can work in any job, they'll be fine. They leave the people that they work with, and they leave their leader. So let's go back to systems. Like I said to you before, everyone overthinks systems. Everyone thinks it's this big, manual like when you get a new software at work. It's nothing like that. Everything you do in your salon is a system. The system you use when you greet people when they walk in the door, when you prepare a client for their service, how you shampoo their hair, how you do a massage, everything is a system. All you need to do is actually get it down on paper. The reason I say that is because your employees they'll know exactly what to do. They'll be aware of everything they do. I know when my staff have downtime, they literally know exactly what to do because we have a system around it. If something goes wrong, if we get a bad piece of feedback, if we get a client ring up that they don't know how to deal with, they just look it up. They know how to deal with it. Everything in your business needs to be systemized. And let me tell you, if you don't have it like that, your business basically isn't sellable. If everything is systemized in your business, Someone can literally walk in, take it over, and everything operates like a well-oiled machine. To me, that's a successful business. One of the things about stepping off the floor, and I'm sure a lot of you have been through this before, is, oh my God, someone's sick, what do I do? Oh my God, this happened, what do I do? Oh my God, we ran out of 10 volt, what do I do? And half the time, you guys will run into the salon and help them do it. The best thing you can do with a salon Bible or with a systems manual, have you actually read the policy for that or the procedure for that? Oh no, I'll go and do it now. They'll learn to start troubleshooting and they'll learn to start fixing the problem themselves. They will become less reliant on you. It's even the good old classic when, you know, your stylist shows up with their hair slapped up in a bun, no makeup on. How do you discipline that if you don't have a procedure or a policy around it? For me, have you actually read the policy around our uniform in our salon? Yes, I have. Do you think you have met that policy today? No, I haven't. Great. Go home, fix your shit, come back again. It's that simple. If you don't have these things in place, it's almost impossible to discipline people. How do they know what the standards are? How do they know what they're meant to be doing? How do they know what they're meant to look like, what language they're meant to use, how they mix a color? All of those things. It might seem simple to you. You have to remember, you're a salon owner, you're up here. Your staff are down here. You have to simplify everything for them so they can start to be a little bit closer to your level and actually start to just do things and do it properly and troubleshoot their own problems. For now, if somebody's sick in my business, I don't even usually know about it. When I go on holidays, don't call me unless the place burns down. Actually, don't even call me if the place burns down. Go find somewhere else to work. It's literally not my problem. You can sort it out yourself. It's not as difficult as what you think it is. Systems is one thing where all these hairdressers go, like, nah, I don't want to do it. It's like money. They go, I mean, numbers. It's like, ooh, don't want to talk about numbers. Systems literally equals freedom. So tomorrow in my roundtable, I'm going to be taking you through the steps to stepping off the floor. And once again, I'm not going to tell you that you need to step off the floor full time because you don't. That was my goal. 3 years ago, my goal changed and my passions changed to coaching people rather than working on a salon floor. If that's something you want to do or you want to start cutting back, you need to come and speak to me and I'm going to give you the tips of how to do that and do it very quickly. I've had clients go from 50 hours a week to no hours a week in about 3 months. It can be done. And it's a lot simpler than you think it is. You just need the right help. The next bit of this is your client experience. And this is a big contributor to your money and your clients returning to you. There's heaps of different points to client experience, but these are the most important ones. You have to remember that you are the expert. People are paying you for your expertise. There is nothing worse than when I see a client sit in my chair in my salon and my stylist is like, oh, cool, Mary, same as last time. Yeah, great, blah, blah, blah. Hasn't asked anything about what she wants, hasn't offered change, hasn't spoken to her about her problems, hasn't found out what she's battling with or why she's even in the chair today. You're the expert. We often forget that. You need to do a full consultation and do a proper consultation and offer a full service at every visit. I'm from Geelong. There's 480 salons just in my immediate area. There's stacks. If I bore my client or I don't give her a full consultation or if I don't give her a full service every single visit, she's going to walk to one of the other 479 salons. You can have people that have been coming to you for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, I'm sure, for some of you. It can be that one visit that they're like, oh, I'm just bored of her now. Or, oh my God, I spend all this money and I just don't feel like I get that service that I really deserve. That's enough to make somebody walk. And that can cost you a lot of money. Remember, 20 people are told about a bad experience and 3 about a great one. The next point here is everyone needs home hair care or home skin care. Is there anybody in here that uses no products when they get ready in the morning? No one? I can tell you I use about 6. Every single day, without fail. If I go out on a night out, more makeup, more stuff. Everybody needs home care. If you don't give them the home care, how can they maintain that service between their visits? It's not about selling, it's not about getting in there and giving them all the shit they don't need. It's about talking to them and actually giving them things that are going to prolong that color. They're going to help them to fill in their eyebrows when their tint fades. That's going to keep that facial going for the whole 8 weeks between their next appointment. Facts, clients can't afford to come every week. They don't want to come every week. They don't want to come every month, a lot of them. So give them the products and everything that they need and give them that insurance policy and give them that maintenance that they need between their appointments. It's really not that hard. Open up the conversation. The other thing there, what's a product worth now? $40? 40 bucks, 10 clients a week, 400 bucks. It's not that hard. The next thing here is create an appointment plan. This is one of the things that our stylists do in our salon and our barbers do in our salon is that a lot of the time you can't get that client to where they need to be in one visit. Sometimes you can, that's okay. When they're in my chair, we're pre-framing them already for the next few appointments that they're having. We're already talking to them about their color that they're gonna have in wintertime when it's summer. That's called creating an appointment plan. So already when your client gets to the desk at the end, they know they're coming back. They know they're buying extra services from you next time. They know they're gonna buy this blonde shampoo now and they're gonna buy the whatever treatment back in winter when they go brown. They already know that because it's pre-framing. This stuff needs to be done early on. You need to not be shit talking to your clients when they sit in your chair. Spend 10 minutes with them, talk to them. When you're putting a color on, keep talking to them, keep asking about them, keep giving them value. Give them advice. Talk to them about what they can do at home that might change their look up. You can actually curl it this way or straighten it this way. Keep them excited because they're gonna be really looking forward to coming back to that appointment with you. And let me tell you, majority of salons don't do that for their clients. So they're gonna remember that visit with you. Next one, you are a salesperson. People get really like, oh, I'm not a salesperson. You are, you're literally selling yourself. That's what we do. You're selling your time, you're selling your knowledge, you're selling your services and you're selling your products. You are a salesperson. What you don't wanna be is a bad salesperson. What you don't want to be is giving your clients a stack of things that they don't need. That's not being a good salesperson. Being a good salesperson is helping them with their problems, giving them the services they want, giving them the maintenance between appointments, setting them up for their future appointments, and making sure that they are coming back to you, and making sure that you look after them, and you give them a full service at every visit. The last one here is something that we've really changed up this year. It's funny that Billy brought it up actually because emails are definitely dead. No one opens our emails. We had a 2% open rate. Crazy. Earlier this year, we realized we weren't really doing a lot to get feedback from our clients, and it was something that we really needed to work on. Every client, after their third visit to us, gets a text message finding out how their appointment went. It can be as simple as, out of 10, how likely are you to recommend us to a friend? I feel like that's a really general thing to ask, and it's gonna give you a pretty good indication of whether or not they're gonna come back to you and whether or not they liked their service. From there, under an 8, contact them directly. Over that, thank you so much for sending me that feedback. Again, it's just those things about being cared for. People just want to be loved and people just want to be cared for. That's all they want. How easy is it to send a text message? Save it in your notes. It's already a template. Bang it off. Easy. The thing about the clients is it's actually not really about the hair. It's not really about the beauty service. It's about how you made them feel. They're going to forget what you said to them. They're going to forget what you did for them. But years down the track, they're going to remember how you made them feel. It's about evoking a feeling. Next one is money and numbers. What you track expands. Simple. It's the most simple thing. If you're not tracking your numbers, how do you know where your money's going? How do you know what's making you money? How do you know what services that you're selling that are doing really well? How do you know what you're doing wrong? How do you know who's performing, who's underperforming? How do you know how many clients you see in a week, what the average total value is? All of those things. It's not hard to track your numbers, it's not. If you don't know how to do that, get someone like me, get a business coach, get someone who can help you. Speak to your accountant. It is so vital for the success of your salon that you know every single thing that comes in and out of your business. Everything. I don't work in there and I still know. I can log in and check anytime I want. If you're not using booking software too, I did hear somebody earlier today say they were using a book. Time to get booking software. There's incredibly affordable booking software out there. Numbers. I love numbers. Not many people like numbers. Don't bury your head in the sand. Just because you've got a pile of bills there and you're not opening them doesn't mean they go away. I wish. Probably going to come home to a pile of them after the weekend away. Don't bury your head in the sand with anything. If you've got an underperformer, deal with it. If you're spending $1,000 on one of your staff members every week and they're not breaking budget, deal with it. Deal with it early. If you track your numbers and you're watching everything that's going on and you're actually focused on the growth of your business, it will get better for you because you'll be able to recognize things quicker. You're not trying to deal with your shit performance 12 weeks down the track when that staff member's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. It's the same thing as even with discounting. We don't have discounts in my salon, but if you've got a salon that has discounts, have you ever run a report of how many discounts go in your salon? I spoke to a client once who's still one of my clients who had $26,000 of discounts in 5 months that she didn't know about because I told her to run the report. Something wasn't adding up. She told me about her prices, the money wasn't there, the clients were there. There's a gap. Where's the gap? Her staff were actually discounting people, which is theft. But how the hell do you backpedal from that? 5 months down the track. If she ran it every 2 weeks, she'd be able to see who was discounting, how much it was, and deal with it and fix the problem. Avoidance is not going to do anything for you. So monitor your budgets and margins. You're all like, ugh, what? At the end of every month, I send my manager a budget to order color, a budget to order stock, and I know my budgets for my wages. I know my budgets for everything that goes out of my salon. I know my rent costs me 7% every month because that's what we have to make the business work. You have to have budgets, you have to have margins, and you have to stick to them. I've got a client in the crowd, her name's Molly. She's gonna come up later, she's actually here today. Molly was spending a stupid amount of money on color until she started monitoring it and she actually started culling it down, charging properly for her services, and actually tracking her spend on color. It's not that hard to do. I promise you it's not. But again, don't bury your head in the sand. It's not, oh shit, I spent a lot on color this month. Look at it. Where's it gone wrong? Audit your color usage. Have a look at what your staff are charging for services. If they're charging for 100-gram color and they've been using 200 grams of color, why? Sort it out. You have to stick to margins and budgets. This one's one of my favorites as well because this is the thing that I find most common in salon owners. They don't know how to work out their break even. They don't know how to break down their costings. And so they just price themselves based on everyone around them or a little bit cheaper. What? Your salon's completely different cost to other people. My salon and my barbershop are literally on the same street. My barbershop's rent is a quarter of my salon's. I can't price them the same. They're on the same street. You can literally see one from the other end of the street. So why would I price my services the same? You have to price your services to profit. I can tell you right now, if you're charging $45 for a 45-minute haircut, you're not making money. You're going backwards, actually. It's impossible. But how do you know that if you don't break all of those prices down? How do you know if you don't sit down and work out how much color you use, how much labor that is, how much basin time, how much shampoo, everything that goes into that service? You don't. So it's time to get some help with that and actually work it out. Again, pull your head out of the sand and just work it out. Speak to an accountant if you don't want to work with a business coach. That's totally fine. Speak to someone who can actually help you with that and actually teach you what you need to know to be able to fix those problems. It's not about pricing yourself based on what's around you. We're by far the most expensive salon in the area. And we have been for a long time because I made that happen. It's a good place to be. One of the other things that we really forget about is to actually reflect on how far we've come. It's always, as entrepreneurs and as salon owners, it's always, what's next? What's the next big thing? What are we doing next? What's the next goal? When am I going to get 10 more staff? I want to make $1 million. It's just all of these things. We keep raising the bar and raising the bar and raising the bar. It's ridiculous. What we need to do is actually look back on what we've done, what we've achieved. My first week in my salon, I took $2,500. We do that in a couple of hours now. That's a huge thing to celebrate. It's not always about, what's next and what's the next big thing and, I didn't win that award and, blah, blah, left me or this client's gone on. It's about celebrating. Take a moment, step back, look at what you've done, look at what you've achieved and fucking celebrate how awesome you are. And do it with your team as well. I celebrate every little win with my team. We celebrate anniversaries, like how long they've been with me. We celebrate, their graduations. Like everyone gets together, we go and do something. It's as simple as buying them fish and chips or going to get a drink. Like it's so easy. And you need to celebrate you as well because we often get forgotten about as owners. Celebrate with each other. You're in a room full of incredible people. Make sure you reflect on how far you've come and actually what you've achieved in the time that you've been doing what you do. The next thing here, I'm smashing through this, by the way. I must speak really fast or I'm forgetting a lot of things that I wanted to talk about. Next thing here is leadership. That's the number one thing that we've tried to get the basis of today. Leadership is salon management. If you're not a leader, sell your salon. If you're not willing to try and be a leader and change your bad habits and do things better, it's time to move on. Leadership is absolutely key. First thing there, lead by example. I would never, ever ask my staff to do anything that I wouldn't do. If there's something on a really tall shelf and they don't want to get up a ladder, I'll do it. That's fine. Lead by example and do the things that you expect your staff to do. When I was on the floor of my salon, I had 35% of my sales come from retail. 35%. That's nearly unheard of in the hairdressing industry because I hustled and I worked hard and my clients had everything that I just spoke to you about before. A hair plan, products to get them through between appointments, extra services, the services that they need. Sometimes we downsold, we tried not to, but if that's what they needed, that's what we did. Lead by example. You cannot stand there and go, I expect X, Y, Z from my staff members if you're not going to do it yourself or if you can't do it yourself. I hate that my staff member swears and shit talks to clients. Well, if you're doing that, why would they not do that too? Staff are sheep and they will follow their leader in every aspect. The next thing here is how you show up is a choice. I suffer with crippling anxiety. Crippling. Sometimes I want to burn my salon down and never go back. But how I get up in the morning and what I do and how I start my day is a choice. I ground myself, I make sure I'm happy that day. I'm going to have a good day. I get out of bed and I go and I lead my team in exactly the way that I want them to behave at work. How you show up and how you leave your shit at home is up to you. Your staff and what they do is none of your business and what you do is none of theirs. Get up, show up, present yourself how you want them to be presented, and be the leader that you've always wanted. Be the boss that you would want to work for. You have to do that for them. That's on you. Again, with communication, communicate how you want to be spoken to. Sometimes I want to slap my staff. Just be like, oh my God, are you serious? But you can't do that. You need to communicate in a way that you want to be spoken to. You have to communicate clearly, legibly, in a way that they understand. You need to not talk above them and talk down to them. You need to be at eye level, the same as you do with your clients. You sit next to them when you consult with them. You need to communicate like you want to be communicated to. There is nothing more appalling than when you go to a business and someone's getting yelled at the back. It happened to us at a cafe a couple of weeks ago and I thought, oh, what are you doing? Why would that staff member stay working for them? Why would that staff member perform for them? They won't. Last point here is pretty bloody simple. It literally starts with you. You are the head of the fish. Everything that you do will follow suit. We've all walked into a business where it's tense. You can cut the air. Something's gone wrong that day. Someone's had a domestic. Whatever's happened, doesn't matter. And it's horrible. The tension's bad. The atmosphere's bad. Everything is bad. What you need to do is show up, lead your team, have your morning huddle, motivate them to having a great day, and make the changes and make them effective today. If you know you've been a bit slack, you've been a bit tired, whatever's going on in your life, you haven't been turning up, you haven't been doing what you need to be doing, you've been avoiding your bills, you haven't been tracking your numbers. Some of my clients don't track their numbers even though I try and bash it out of them. Take responsibility for that. Take ownership of that. I'm not going to stand up here and tell you there's a perfect salon owner because there's not. I'm certainly not. Everything that could have possibly gone wrong in my business has gone wrong. I've had my staff walk out. I fired everyone on the same day once. I've been broken into 1,000,001 times. I learned the hard way to systemize my salon because I was in a really bad motorbike accident and couldn't work for 7 months, and I had nothing systemized, literally. Everything that's happened can happen. But rather than dwell on it and blame everybody else and get all sad about it, get up, change it. You did the wrong thing. Own it. Own your shit. No one's going to do it for you. No one's going to manage your business for you. No one's going to make the changes that you want them to make unless you make them with them. If you've got shit staff, they're doing that because you're letting them do that. If you've got people who are badly behaved, they show up late all the time, they look like shit when they come to work, you're letting them do that. You, the boss. If you go to work looking like shit every day and your staff go to work looking like shit, change you first. It comes down to you. Are you ready to make the changes in your business today? Are you going to take ownership and be the boss that you always wanted to be? Are you going to be the leader that you always wanted to be? My name is Caitlin Menzel. I have rushed through this so quickly today, and I'm so thankful to all of you for sitting and listening to me speak. I really hope we can catch up tonight at the VIP night, or I get to see you floating around tomorrow. Please come and say hello to me, and thank you again for having me.